Welcome back to Walking the Quiet Path with me, Cate Field. This is day 5, Between Moments. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, don't worry, it doesn't matter what order you do these in. You can just dip into them however you wish. This is your gentle space for creative reflection and an invitation for you to pause, to notice, and to reconnect with your inner voice. In this session, like all of the others, we will explore today's theme through a short poem, a reflection, and the creative prompts, the invitations. Take it at your own pace. Let the process be soft and gentle and completely yours. So when you are ready, let's begin. There is a space between moments, thin as a held breath, where nothing is asked, nothing is given. It is the pause before the wave folds, before the bird takes flight, before the first note hums in the throat. Here, in the hush, everything waits. I do hope you are well and that you are enjoying this series of a kind of a journey. And it's one of those things that I feel that when I'm working with a live group of people, it has a different kind of momentum. But this is still for you. And I want you to take this time for yourself and imagine that you are in one of my classes here in the West Country in England. There is power in the pause, that breath before action. And I think we can sometimes get frustrated because things don't move as fast as we want them to. But this time, this momentary stillness, the ones that go a little bit unnoticed, contain possibility and promise, and what I call a quiet hum. I'd like you to consider the spaces in your own life and in your own creativity where the waiting happens, and think about how you're feeling about that. Are you feeling tense because there's an anticipation that you're not sure of? Or maybe you are feeling frustrated because things are not happening when you want them to. Is it a weight? Does it feel weight, or does it feel weightless? So today we're going to explore that space in between. We're going to capture some suspense, some stillness, or just a quiet expectation. I'm going to offer you again the series of creative invitations, the collection. So first of all, let's go for painting and drawing. Illustrate a moment on the verge of change. So maybe a crest of a wave, a bird just taking off, a flower blooming, that kind of thing, or something that you think of yourself. In writing, describe a moment where time seems to pause. What emotions are living in that space? You could write this from your own personal perspective, or perhaps in a story relating to somebody else. Sculpting or textile work. Work with materials that convey suspension, perhaps hanging elements, a kind of a weightless motion, a weightlessness, perhaps something that's frozen in time, that kind of suspense. With photography, capture a subject in mid-motion, something waiting to happen. For mixed media, use contrasts, light and dark, empty and full, to represent that kind of moment in between. And for your sensory prompt, close your eyes, hold your breath for a few moments and feel the stillness in your body, the anticipation before releasing. Listen to the pause. And let this sensation guide your creative practice today. I am going to be using mixed media today. I'm going to use a combination of different materials to create a contrast. I'll probably do something quite abstract, but I'm not sure what that's going to look like just yet. I hope you can join me through this creative process and let me know how you're getting on in the comments. Let's go. So in my practice today, I'm going to be using collage for my mixed media, create the background using collage, and then I'm going to use some ink to then do another design, which again, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to turn out. I'm just enjoying the process. I'm just tearing up bits of collage papers that I've collected over the last few weeks, really. These are kind of experiments that I've done, leftover bits. This is from a sheet music that was water damaged that I got from our local charity shop, which is rather lovely. Really nice textured paper, and I'm just using a glue stick to stick them on. And I'm going to show you a few of the things that I do in this process, and if you are stuck for ideas, then feel free to take my ideas and you can do your own thing with them, can't you? That's fine. I really would love to know your thoughts, if you are following along from day one, or if you're just dipping into the process and seeing where it might take you. As I keep saying, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever works for you. I do like working with mixed media, but I have never been able to decide which medium in art and design and craft I prefer. So I do all of them. And it's the same, oh dear, just knocked that one. It's the same with my writing. I switch between writing short stories to prose to bits of poetry. And my themes can be a whole load of mixed things as well. And that's okay. We are allowed to enjoy everything. The problem sometimes is that because we're interested in so many things, it can be a little bit tricky to get started. I certainly have that with some of my students. So enthusiastic about everything, which is lovely. It's really lovely to have that. But yeah, sometimes it can get in the way, all that enthusiasm. So I'm just popping these on. I'll quite often use old maps, old directories. You can just sort of pick up all sorts of things. And then sometimes I will use shapes, and that's what I'm going to be doing in a moment, because I want to have this idea of contrast, and the contrast is going to be in how I'm using the media. But as I go through it, I might change my mind, and you are allowed to do that too. If you start off doing something and it kind of morphs into something else, that is okay. We are allowed
to change our minds in this world. And I think that sometimes we forget. I think I need a circle, actually. Just get my, I'll just do a circle. Just cut that one out. I like the idea of mixing things up. I think it will really help our creative process. So I'll put that there. Again, not a perfectly cut circle. And that is fine. Just going to do that. So I've covered the double page of this book. So make sure that is all nice and secure. And I'm going to do a bit of a colour wash over the top of this, just to knock back some of the colour. And I'm going to do that with white acrylic paint. So I've just put some white acrylic on here, and then I've got a bit of cardboard that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to scrape across the surface. It's going to be very, very thin, because I still want the texture and some of the patterns of the papers to come through. Just breaking up the space, but also kind of building a cohesion. Just, can you see it? You can still see the papers beneath the surface. It's just a little bit more subtle, which is what I want, because I'm going to be drawing over the top. And that is going to be my contrast. And as I'm doing this, I am really enjoying it. I enjoy the process of mark making. I enjoy the process of putting paint onto a surface. Especially in my sketchbook, because my sketchbook is a place for trying out ideas, like my journal. So I don't have to show anybody. It's and there are no rules, just my own rules, which can change. And because I haven't used any water on this, this will dry very, very quickly, in just about 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just going to put that to one side. I'm going to leave that to dry, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with these pages. This is all nice and dry. I'm now going to be using some acrylic ink in black and just a very soft brush. And again, I'm just playing with an idea. I just wondered about a very kind of simple vase. Again, when you're using inks or very thin paint, you can make some quite lovely marks. But you could also use a fine liner pen. That could work just as well, actually. And I do use those a lot. Or something like a biro or ballpoint pen. And then I'm just going to put some sort of ideas of flowers, just very, very, very loosely. I just wanted this to be quite loose, almost graphic, actually, like a kind of a graphic design. Again, just putting some ideas across the page. And I might use some of these ideas later. Again, I'm just enjoying the process. It's lovely. Again, I'm not worried about what something might look like. That's not really the point. Let's just have another vase down here, just going across the page. Yeah, that's fine to do that. You create your own designs. Just imagine. Well, again, just let your imagination go, really. Just a little bit more on that. And if you haven't liked this video and you are enjoying it, that would be lovely. Perhaps you'd like to share it with someone else who also might enjoy joining us. I've also put the link below for the Facebook group if you haven't joined that, because it is such a lovely space. Really, really supportive. Some very lovely people. Again, I'm just putting this idea in. Let's just have another flower coming out this way. Again, this is kind of like this contrast sort of between, like I said, I was doing this in a quite an abstract way, but then it sort of turned into something a little bit more organic. And this could be something that I could use as an illustration for something, or something that I might develop at a later date. Well, I did have another idea. I thought I might use some fluorescence. Those of you who have watched my channel lots of times know that every so often I will bring out the fluorescent paints or the fluorescent pens. I thought I would just add a little bit of neon orange. Again, this is paint that I've watered down. I just wanted I quite often use it as a wash, that kind of thing. But I thought, let's just put in some circles sort of behind these. Yeah, this might be a little bit too thin, but again, I'm just playing with an idea. But you can see that with mixed media, you can just add bits to it, can't you? Have an idea and think, I wonder what would happen if I did that. I will pop that one in, and I might add a few more things. Let's just put another circle here. And see how that might work. Like that. It's quite fun. Let's put another one up here, I think. I do like using shapes in my work and then messing them up with other things. Well, not messing them, just doing a contrast, I guess. And of course, circles can turn into all sorts of things. Right, just do another one behind here. I think if I was to do this again, I would put in my circles before the black acrylic. But I do want this series to be showing you my process as well. And that will include all the mistakes, because we are human. So I think I will leave that like that.
I do hope that you have enjoyed this session, that you have given yourself time to develop your own creative practice. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, and this is something that you have enjoyed, that would be really helpful. It helps me to grow the channel and to reach other people who might also enjoy it. And I really look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.